Imagine a life where you work fewer hours but accomplish more. A life where you're not constantly stressed, still reach your goals. It sounds like a fantasy, doesn't it? However, in Living the 80-20 Way, Richard Koch argues that this kind of life is entirely achievable. The key lies in the 80-20 principle, also known as the Pareto Principle, which asserts that 80% of your outcomes often stem from just 20% of your effort. This principle, which has its roots in economics, was initially applied in business, but has since been recognized as a powerful tool for transforming all aspects of life. Koch's book isn't just about working smarter in a business sense. It's a practical guide to completely reshaping your life by focusing on what truly matters. Whether you're looking to enhance your career, improve your finances, build stronger relationships, or find personal fulfillment, the 80-20 principle can help you achieve more by doing less. By identifying and concentrating on the few things that bring the most significant benefit, you can streamline your life, reduce stress, and increase your overall happiness and success. The 80-20 way is about quality over quantity, simplicity over complexity, and fulfillment over busyness. Chapter 1. The 80-20 Principle. A smarter way to live. 80-20 Principle is a concept that has transformed industries, businesses, and personal lives. Named after the Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, who discovered that 80% of Italy's wealth was owned by just 20% of the population, this principle has been found to apply to almost every area of life. The core idea is that a small proportion of causes, inputs, or efforts usually lead to a large proportion of the results, outputs, or rewards. In the business world, this might manifest as 80% of sales coming from 20% of customers, or 80% of a company's profits being generated by 20% of its products. But the 80-20 principle isn't just a business tool. It's a universal truth that can lead to profound changes in how we live our lives. Koch suggests that by applying this principle to everyday life, we can achieve much more with less effort, leading to greater success and happiness. The historical context of the 80-20 principle. Throughout history, human progress has been about achieving more with less. Consider the agricultural revolution. Humans transitioned from a nomadic lifestyle of hunting and gathering to settled farming, which allowed them to produce far more food with less effort. This revolution was about efficiency, producing more resources with fewer inputs. Similarly, during the Industrial Revolution, machinery transformed productivity, allowing fewer workers to produce more goods. In the modern era, technological advancements continue this trend. Think about computers, which have become faster, smaller, and more affordable over time. We are producing more results with fewer resources, and this is the 80-20 principle in action. However, Koch argues that while we've successfully applied this principle in technology and business, we often fail to use it in our personal lives. Problem with overworking. In our personal lives, many of us fall into the trap of believing that the more we work, the more we will achieve. We fill our days with tasks, meetings, and obligations, believing that busyness equals productivity. But this isn't true. In fact, much of our effort is wasted on activities that bring little to no value. Koch points out that we often spend 80% of our time on activities that only contribute 20% to our overall success or happiness. The rest of our time is taken up by distractions, unnecessary tasks, and activities that don't move us closer to our goals. This overworking and overcommitment can lead to burnout, stress, and a sense of dissatisfaction, as we fail to see proportional rewards for our effort. The key to escaping this cycle is to apply the 80-20 principle to our personal lives. Instead of spreading ourselves thin, we should focus on the small number of activities that generate the most significant results. By doing so, we can achieve more with less effort, freeing up time and energy for the things that truly matter. Applying the 80-20 principle in everyday life. To start living the 80-20 way, Koch advises that we first identify the activities that contribute the most to our happiness, success, and well-being. These are the 20% of actions that bring 80% of the results. For example, in your work life, This might mean identifying the tasks that are directly linked to your biggest achievements, such as strategic planning, creative thinking, or client engagement. These are the activities that you should focus on, while delegating, minimizing, or eliminating the rest. Similarly, in your personal life, consider which relationships, hobbies, or activities bring you the most joy and fulfillment. It might be that 20% of your friendships provide 80% of your emotional support and happiness. Or perhaps 20% of your hobbies give you the most relaxation and satisfaction. By focusing on these key areas, you can maximize your happiness and reduce the time spent on less rewarding activities. Koch suggests regularly asking yourself, how can I get more with less? This question encourages you to seek out efficiency and focus on the activities that bring the greatest rewards. It's about being strategic with your time and energy and recognizing that not all tasks are created equal. By prioritizing the few activities that truly matter, you can free up time for relaxation, creativity, and personal growth, leading to a more balanced and fulfilling life. Chapter 2. The Way to Happiness. Happiness is something we all strive for, yet it often feels elusive, slipping through our fingers as we juggle the demands of daily life. Many people spend their lives in pursuit of happiness, only to find that it remains just out of reach. Richard Koch argues that this is because we are looking for happiness in the wrong places. Instead of spreading our time and energy across numerous activities, many of which bring little joy, we should focus on the few moments, activities, or relationships that truly make us happy. Concept of happiness islands. Koch introduces the idea of happiness island, those moments in our lives when we are truly happy. These are the times when everything seems to align and we feel content, filled, and at peace. For some, happiness might come from spending time with loved ones, engaging in a favorite hobby, or simply enjoying a quiet moment in nature. The key is to identify these happiness islands and expand them so they occupy a larger portion of our lives. Most people spend a disproportionate amount of time on activities that bring little happiness. We might fill our days with work, chores, and obligations, leaving little time for the things that genuinely make us happy. The 80-20 principle suggests that 80% of our happiness likely comes from just 20% of our activity. If we can identify and focus on these activities, we can significantly increase our overall happiness. Identifying your happiness islands. The first step to increasing happiness is to identify your happiness islands. Think back to the last time you were truly happy. What were you doing? Who were you with? Where were you? By reflecting on these moments, you can start to see patterns. Perhaps you're happiest when you're spending time outdoors, working on a creative project, or having deep conversations with a close friend. These are your happiness islands, the activities, people, and places that bring you the most joy. Once you've identified your happiness islands, the next step is to think about how you can spend more time on them. If 20% of your activities bring 80% of your happiness, how can you increase that 20%? This might involve making small changes, like setting aside more time for your favorite hobbies or prioritizing quality time with loved ones. Could also mean making bigger changes, like reevaluating your career or lifestyle to align more closely with what makes you happy. Minimizing unhappy time. Just as it's important to maximize your happiness islands, it's equally crucial to minimize the time you spend on activities that don't bring you joy. Koch argues that many of us waste time on activities that not only fail to make us happy, but actually detract from our overall well-being. For example, studies show that people often feel mildly depressed after watching hours of television, yet many continue to spend large amounts of time in front of the TV. If watching television doesn't make you happy, why do it? Koch encourages us to be ruthless in cutting out activities that don't contribute to our happiness. This doesn't mean you should neglect your responsibilities, but rather that you should be more intentional about how you spend your time. For instance, if you find that certain social obligations leave you feeling drained rather than fulfilled, consider whether you can reduce or eliminate them. Certain chores or tasks are necessary but unpleasant. Think about how you can streamline them or make them more enjoyable. The goal is to free up more time for your happiness islands so that a larger portion of your life is spent on activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. This might involve making difficult decisions, like saying no to certain commitments or reevaluating how you spend your leisure time. But the payoff is a life that feels more aligned with your values and desires. A life where happiness is not just a fleeting moment, but a consistent, daily experience. Chapter 3. The 80-20 Principle at Work. The workplace is one of the areas where the 80-20 principle can have the most immediate and dramatic impact. In most jobs, a small percentage of tasks contributes to the majority of your success. Yet many people spend their workdays bogged down in low-value activities that don't significantly move the needle. By applying the 80-20 principle at work, you can identify the few tasks that are truly important and focus your efforts there, leading to greater productivity and satisfaction. The myth of busyness. In modern work culture, busyness is often equated with productivity. We're encouraged to fill our days with meetings, emails, and endless to-do lists, believing that the more we do, the more successful we'll be. But Koch challenges this notion, arguing that busyness is often a sign of inefficiency rather than effectiveness. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're being productive. In fact, many people spend the majority of their workday on tasks that contribute little to their overall success. The 80-20 principle suggests that 20% of your work activities are responsible for 80% of your results. This means that if you can identify and focus on that critical 20%, you can achieve far more in less time. For example, a salesperson might find that a small percentage of clients account for the majority of their sales. By focusing on these key clients and nurturing those relationships, they can increase their sales without having to expand their client base significantly. Prioritizing high-impact activities. To apply the 80-20 principle at work, start by identifying the tasks that have the most significant impact on your success. These are your high-impact activities, 20% of tasks that generate 80% of your results. This might include strategic planning, building key relationships, or creative problem-solving. Once you've identified these tasks, prioritize them in your daily routine. Make sure you're spending the majority of your time on these high-impact activities, rather than getting sidetracked by less important tasks. For instance, if you're a manager, your high-impact activities might include setting the direction for your team, mentoring your staff, and making critical decisions that will affect the future of your department. By focusing on these activities, you can lead your team more effectively and achieve better results. On the other hand, if you're spending most of your time responding to emails, attending unnecessary meetings, or dealing with minor issues, you're likely not using your time as efficiently as you could be. Koch also suggests that you challenge the idea that everything on your to-do list is equally important. Instead of trying to do everything, focus on doing the few things that matter most. This might mean saying no to certain requests, delegating tasks that don't require your expertise, or even cutting out activities that don't align with your goals. The key is to be strategic about where you invest your time and energy, maximizing efficiency. Focus. One of the most powerful applications of the 80-20 principle at work is the ability to maximize efficiency through focus. When you concentrate on your high-impact activities, you can often complete tasks in a fraction of the time it would take if you were distracted or spread too thin. Koch points out that when you're in the zone or flow, a state of deep focus and concentration, you can achieve in a few hours what might otherwise take days. To maximize your efficiency, create an environment that supports deep work. This might involve setting aside specific blocks of time for uninterrupted focus, eliminating distractions, and creating a workspace that allows you to concentrate. During these focused work sessions, aim to tackle your most critical tasks, the ones that will have the biggest impact on your success. For example, if you're working on a major project, dedicate a few hours each day to focused work, free from interruptions. Turn off your email, silence your phone, and let others know that you're not to be disturbed during this time. By working deeply on your high-impact activities, you can make significant progress in a short amount of time, leaving you with more hours in the day to relax or pursue other interests. The benefits of working less. One of the most surprising insights from the 80-20 principle is that working less can often lead to better results. When you focus on the most important tasks and eliminate the rest, you can achieve more in fewer hours. This doesn't mean cutting corners or doing less work overall. It means being more selective about where you invest your time. For instance, Koch suggests that if you're self-employed or have control over your schedule, try limiting your work week to just 2 or 3 days. During these days, focus intensely on your high-impact activities and leave the rest of the week free for relaxation, creativity, or personal pursuits. You might find that by working less, you're actually more productive because you're spending your time on what truly matters. This approach challenges the traditional idea that success requires long hours and relentless effort. Instead, it offers a new model of work-life balance where you can achieve your goals without sacrificing your well-being. By applying the 80-20 principle at work, you can create a more efficient, fulfilling, and balanced professional life. Chapter 4. Making a good life easier. In today's fast-paced world, many people equate a good life with wealth, status, and material possessions. We're bombarded with messages that tell us we need more money, more things, more achievements to be happy. But Richard Koch argues that a good life is actually much simpler than we think. By applying the 80-20 principle to our lives, we can focus on the few things that truly matter, eliminating the unnecessary clutter and stress that often accompanies the pursuit of more. The illusion of material happiness. One of the biggest misconceptions in modern society is the belief that material possessions lead to happiness. Advertising and consumer culture encourage us to buy the latest gadgets, drive the fanciest cars, and live in the biggest houses, promising that these things will bring us joy and fulfillment. However, research shows that beyond a certain point, material wealth does not correlate with increased happiness. In fact, pursuit of material goods can often lead to more stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. Koch challenges this materialistic mindset by asking us to consider what we truly need to be happy. The 80-20 principle suggests that 80% of our happiness likely comes from just 20% of our possessions, relationships, and activities. So why not focus on that 20% and let go of the rest? By simplifying our lives and concentrating on the few things that genuinely bring us joy, we can create a more balanced, peaceful, and fulfilling existence. Identifying what truly matters. The first step to making a good life easier is to identify what truly matters to you. This might involve reflecting on your values, priorities, and the things that bring you the most joy and fulfillment. Koch suggests that you start by making a list of the possessions, relationships, and activities that are most important to you. These are the 20% that contribute to 80% of your happiness. For example, you might find that spending time with family, enjoying nature, or pursuing a creative hobby brings you the most joy. On the other hand, you might realize that certain possessions or activities add little value to your life. Once you've identified what truly matters, the next step is to focus on these key areas and minimize or eliminate the rest. This process might involve making difficult decisions, such as letting go of certain possessions, reducing your commitments, or even reevaluating your career or lifestyle. But the goal is to create a life that is aligned with your values and priorities, where you can focus on what truly brings you happiness. The power of simplification. Koch argues that simplification is one of the most powerful tools for creating a good life. By eliminating the unnecessary clutter, both physical and mental, can free up space and energy for the things that matter most. This might involve decluttering your home, simplifying your schedule, or reducing the number of commitments in your life. For example, consider your home environment. Many people accumulate possessions over time, filling their homes with items they rarely use or don't really need. This clutter can create stress and make it difficult to relax and enjoy your space. By applying the 80-20 principle, you can identify the 20% of your possessions that bring you the most joy and let go of the rest. This might involve decluttering your home, donating items you no longer need, and creating a more minimalist, peaceful living space. Similarly, simplifying your schedule can have a profound impact on your well-being. Many people fill their calendars with meetings, social events, and obligations, leaving little time for relaxation or personal pursuits. By prioritizing the activities that truly matter and letting go of the rest, you can create more space in your life for the things that bring you joy. The power of simplification lies in its ability to reduce stress and increase clarity. When you strip away the unnecessary, you're left with a life that is focused, intentional, and aligned with your values. This, in turn, leads to greater happiness and fulfillment. Creating a balanced life. The 80-20 principle is not just about achieving more with less. It's about creating a balanced life where you can enjoy the things that matter most. Koch suggests that a good life is not about having everything, but about having the right things, those that bring you the most joy, fulfillment, and peace. To create a balanced life, start by setting clear priorities. Identify the areas of your life that are most important to you and make them your focus. This might involve spending more time with loved ones, pursuing a passion or hobby, or simply taking more time to relax and enjoy life. At the same time, be willing to let go of the things that don't align with your priorities. This might mean saying no to certain commitments, simplifying your lifestyle, or even making major changes, such as switching careers or downsizing your home. Koch also emphasizes the importance of being present and mindful in your daily life. Instead of rushing through your day, take the time to savor the moments that bring you joy. Whether it's enjoying a meal with loved ones, taking a walk in nature, or simply relaxing with a good book, being fully present in these moments can greatly enhance your overall sense of well-being. By applying the 80-20 principle to your life, you can create a more balanced, fulfilling, and enjoyable existence. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most and letting go of the rest. Chapter 5. Intelligent and Lazy. Richard Koch introduces a provocative idea. Success doesn't always require hard work. In fact, he argues that being intelligently lazy can lead to greater success and happiness. This concept challenges the traditional belief that the only path to success is through relentless effort and long hours. Instead, Koch suggests that by being strategic about where you invest your time and energy, you can achieve more with less effort. The myth of hard work. In many cultures, hard work is seen as a virtue. We're taught that success requires sacrifice, long hours, and a tireless work ethic. But Koch challenges this belief, arguing that hard work alone is not enough to guarantee success. In fact, many people work hard all their lives without ever achieving the success or happiness they desire. This is because they're not working smart. They're not focusing on the tasks that yield the greatest returns. The 80-20 principle suggests that 20% of your efforts lead to 80% of your results. This means that if you can identify and focus on that critical 20%, you can achieve greater success with less effort. The key is to be strategic about where you invest your time and energy, focusing on the tasks that have the most significant impact on your goals. What does it mean to be intelligently lazy? Being intelligently lazy doesn't mean avoiding work or cutting corners. Instead, it's about being selective and strategic with your efforts. It's about recognizing that not all tasks are created equal, and that some activities yield much higher returns than others. By focusing on the most important tasks and eliminating or delegating the rest, you can achieve more without exhausting yourself. For example, consider an entrepreneur who spends 12 hours a day running their business, handling every aspect from sales to accounting to customer service. While this hard work might seem admirable, it's not necessarily the most effective approach. By applying the 80-20 principle, the entrepreneur might realize that 80% of their revenue comes from just 20% of their clients. Instead of trying to manage everything themselves, they could focus on nurturing those key clients, delegate or automate the less important tasks, and free up time for strategic planning and growth. This approach allows them to achieve greater success with less effort, leaving more time for relaxation, creativity, and personal pursuits. It's about working smarter, not harder, and recognizing that success doesn't always require relentless effort. The benefits of being intelligently lazy. Koch argues that being intelligently lazy has numerous benefits, both professionally and personally. By focusing on the tasks that yield the greatest returns, you can achieve more in less time, leaving you with more hours in the day to enjoy life. This approach also reduces stress and burnout, as you're not constantly pushing yourself to the limit. In your personal life, being intelligently lazy might mean simplifying your routine, delegating chores, or finding more efficient ways to handle daily tasks. For example, instead of spending hours each week on grocery shopping and meal prep, you might opt for a meal delivery service that saves you time and effort. Or, instead of trying to manage every aspect of your home maintenance, you might hire a professional to handle the more time-consuming tasks. The goal is to free up your time and energy for the things that matter most, whether it's spending time with loved ones, pursuing a hobby, or simply relaxing. By being intelligently lazy, you can create a more balanced and fulfilling life, where you're able to enjoy the fruits of your labor without feeling constantly overwhelmed. Embracing a new approach to success. Koch's concept of being intelligently lazy challenges the traditional work ethic, but it offers a new approach to success that is both effective and sustainable. Instead of equating hard work with success, it encourages you to be strategic, focused, and intentional with your efforts. It's about recognizing that success doesn't require endless hours of toil. It requires smart choices and efficient use of your time and energy. By embracing this approach, you can achieve greater success and happiness without burning out. It's a way of living that allows you to enjoy the journey, not just the destination. Whether in your career, personal life, or relationships, being intelligently lazy can lead to a more balanced, fulfilling, and enjoyable existence. Chapter 6. 80-20 Your Friend. When it comes to relationships, the 80-20 principle is just as powerful and relevant as in other areas of life. Relationships are central to our happiness, and the quality of our friendships can greatly influence our well-being. However, not all friendships contribute equally to our happiness. Richard Koch suggests that typically, about 20% of your friends are responsible for 80% of your happiness and fulfillment. This means that a small, core group of friends likely brings you the most joy, support, and satisfaction. Identifying your key friendships. The first step in applying the 80-20 principle to your friendships is to identify the 20% of relationships that contribute the most to your well-being. These are the friendships that make you feel valued, supported, and understood. They are the relationships that bring out the best in you, where you can be yourself without judgment, and where the connection feels effortless and genuine. Reflect on your social circle and consider which friends truly enrich your life. Who are the people you turn to in times of need? Who do you feel most comfortable with? And who adds positivity to your life? These are your key friendships, the relationships that deserve the most attention and investment. Focusing on what matters. Once you've identified your most meaningful friendships, Koch advises focusing your time and energy on nurturing these relationships. This doesn't mean you should neglect or abruptly end other friendships, but rather that you should prioritize the ones that bring you the most joy and fulfillment. By investing more in these key relationships, you can deepen the connection, creating stronger, more rewarding bonds. This might involve spending more quality time with your closest friends, being more present and engaged when you're together, or simply making more of an effort to stay connected. The idea is to enhance the relationships that matter most, ensuring they continue to bring you happiness and support. Letting go of less fulfilling relationships. On the flip side, Koch also suggests being mindful of friendships that don't add significant value to your life. These might be relationships that feel draining, one-sided, or simply unfulfilling. While it's important to be kind and considerate, also okay to step back from relationships that don't contribute positively to your well-being. This doesn't necessarily mean cutting ties completely, but rather shifting your focus and energy away from these less fulfilling relationships. By doing so, You free up time and emotional space to invest in the friendships that truly matter, allowing you to build deeper, more meaningful connections with the people who bring out the best in you. In summary, by applying the 80-20 principle to your friendships, you can cultivate a social circle that enhances your happiness and well-being. Focus on the few relationships that bring you the most joy, and be willing to let go of those that don't serve you. This approach leads to a more fulfilling and balanced social life, where your relationships are a source of support and happiness rather than stress or obligation. Chapter 7. 80-20. Your family. Family relationships are among the most important and enduring connections we have. They shape our lives, provide support, and contribute significantly to our overall well-being. However, just as with friendships, not all family interactions are equally valuable. By applying the 80-20 principle to your family relationships, you can focus on the interactions and activities that bring the most joy and fulfillment, enhancing your family life in the process. Identifying high-value family interactions. The 80-20 principle suggests that 20% of your family interactions are responsible for 80% of your happiness and fulfillment. These are the moments when you feel most connected, understood, and supported by your family members. They might include deep conversations, shared experiences, or simply spending quality time together. To identify these high-value interactions, reflect on the times when you feel closest to your family. What activities or conversations bring you the most joy? Which family members do you feel most connected to? These are the interactions and relationships that you should prioritize. Enhancing quality over quantity. Once you've identified the key interactions that bring the most fulfillment, the next step is to focus on enhancing the quality of these moments. This doesn't necessarily mean spending more time with your family, but rather making the time you do spend more meaningful and rewarding. Quality over quantity is the essence of applying the 80-20 principle to your family relationships. For example, instead of trying to attend every family gathering out of obligation, you might choose to spend one-on-one time with a family member you feel particularly close to, engaging in an activity that you both enjoy. This focused interaction can deepen your bond and create more fulfilling experience. Consider what activities or traditions bring your family together in a meaningful way. It might be a shared meal where everyone puts away their phones and truly connects, a regular family game night, or a weekend getaway where you can create lasting memories. By prioritizing these high-quality interactions, you ensure that your family life is enriched with moments of genuine connection. Reducing less meaningful interactions. On the other hand, not all family interactions are equally beneficial. Some may feel obligatory, stressful, or unproductive. Applying the 80-20 principle here means recognizing that it's okay to limit or redefine these less fulfilling interactions. This might involve setting boundaries, communicating your needs, or finding ways to make these interactions more positive. For instance, if large family gatherings tend to be overwhelming or stressful, you might opt to attend fewer of them, or suggest smaller, more intimate gatherings where you feel more comfortable. If certain conversations with family members often lead to conflict or discomfort, consider steering the conversation in a more positive direction or setting clear boundaries to protect your well-being. The goal isn't to neglect your family, but to focus on what brings the most joy and fulfillment while reducing the time and energy spent on interactions that don't contribute positively to your life. By doing so, you can create a family dynamic that is supportive, loving, and enriching for everyone involved. In summary, applying the 80-20 principle to your family relationships allows you to maximize the joy and fulfillment you derive from your family life. By prioritizing quality interactions and setting boundaries on less meaningful ones, you can create a more harmonious and rewarding family environment. Chapter 8. 80-20. Your life. The 80-20 principle isn't just a tool for improving specific areas of your life. It's a holistic approach that can transform your entire way of living. By applying this principle to every aspect of your life, you can identify what truly matters and focus your efforts on the few things that bring the most significant benefits. This leads to a life that is not only more efficient, but also more fulfilling, joyful, and aligned with your true values. Identifying your priorities. The first step in 80-20 in your life is to identify your true priorities. What are the core values, goals, and passions that drive you? What activities, relationships, and pursuits bring you the most joy, satisfaction, and success? These are the 20% of your life that contributes to 80% of your happiness and fulfillment. Take some time to reflect on what truly matters to you. It might be your career, family, your health, or your personal growth. Whatever it is, these are the areas where you should focus your time, energy, and resources. By concentrating on these key areas, you can ensure that your life is aligned with your values and that you're working towards the goals that matter most to you. Simplifying and streamlining. Once you've identified your priorities, the next step is to simplify and streamline your life. This means eliminating or reducing the activities, commitments, and obligations that don't align with your priorities. These are the things that take up time and energy but don't contribute significantly to your happiness or success. For example, if you find that you're spending a lot of time on tasks that don't bring you closer to your goals, consider whether you can delegate, automate, or simply eliminate them. This might involve saying no to certain commitments, decluttering your schedule, or rethinking how you spend your time. The goal is to create a life that is focused, intentional, and free from unnecessary distraction. By simplifying and streamlining, you can reduce stress, increase your efficiency, and create more space for the things that truly matter, maximizing your impact. The final step in 80-20 and REM your life is to maximize your impact by focusing on high-leverage activities. These are the actions that have the greatest potential to move you closer to your goals. In your career, this might mean focusing on strategic projects that have the potential to significantly advance your position. In your personal life, it might mean investing in relationships that bring you the most joy and support. By consistently focusing on high-impact activities, you can achieve more with less effort, creating a life that is both successful and fulfilling. The 80-20 principle teaches us that not all efforts are equal, and by concentrating on what truly matters, you can maximize your results while minimizing your stress and workload. In summary, applying the 80-20 principle to your life as a whole allows you to focus on what truly matters, simplify your daily routine, and maximize your impact. This approach leads to a life that is more efficient, more fulfilling, and more aligned with your true values and goals. Chapter 9. Making an 80-20 world. Imagine a world where everyone applies the 80-20 principle. Such a world would be more efficient, less wasteful, and filled with greater happiness and fulfillment. Richard Koch envisions a society where the 80-20 principle isn't just a personal strategy, but a societal norm, leading to better outcomes in every area of life. The impact of 80-20, thinking on society. If more people adopted 80-20 thinking, we could see significant improvements in various aspects of society. For example, businesses that focus on their most profitable products or services that operate more efficiently, leading to increased innovation and better customer experiences. Governments that prioritize the most effective policies could address societal issues more effectively, reducing waste and improving public services. In education, applying the 80-20 principle could mean focusing on the teaching methods and subjects that have the greatest impact on students' learning and development. In healthcare, could involve prioritizing the treatments and interventions that provide the most significant benefits to patients. Potential applications are endless, and the results could be transformative. By encouraging a culture of 80-20 thinking, we could create a world that values quality over quantity, efficiency over busyness, and fulfillment over mere achievement. Promoting the 80-20 mindset. To make an 80-20 world a reality, Koch suggests that individuals and organizations promote the 80-20 mindset in their communities and workplaces. This might involve sharing the principles of 80-20 thinking with others, encouraging a focus on high-impact activities and advocating for policies and practices that prioritize efficiency and effectiveness. Businesses can lead the way by adopting 80-20 strategies in their operations, marketing, and management. Educational institutions can incorporate 80-20 principles into their curricula, teaching students how to focus on what truly matters and make the most of their time and resources. Governments can apply 80-20 thinking to policymaking, ensuring that public funds are used in the most effective and impactful ways. By spreading the 80-20 mindset, we can create a ripple effect that leads to more efficient, productive, and fulfilling societies. The benefits of this approach extend beyond individual success, contributing to a more sustainable and harmonious world. A vision for the future. Koch's vision for an 80-20 world is one where people are empowered to focus on what truly matters, leading to greater happiness, innovation, and progress. It's a world where resources are used wisely, time is valued, and people are encouraged to pursue their passions and strengths. This vision is not just a dream, but a practical possibility. By adopting the 80-20 principle in our own lives and promoting it in our communities, we can contribute to a better, more fulfilling world. Everyone. In summary, making an 80-20 world involves spreading the principles of 80-20 thinking throughout society, encouraging a focus on quality, efficiency, and impact. By doing so, we can create a world that is more efficient, less wasteful, and filled with greater happiness and fulfillment. Chapter 10. A system for living the 80-20 way. To truly live the 80-20 way, you need a system that supports this approach. Richard Koch offers a practical guide to building a life based on the 80-20 principle, helping you focus on what matters most and achieve more with less effort. Step 1. Determine your destination. The first step in creating an 80-20 life is to determine your destination, what you truly want out of life. This involves setting clear, meaningful goals that align with your values and priorities. Whether it's achieving success in your career, building strong relationships, or finding personal fulfillment, your destination should reflect what matters most to you. Take some time to reflect on your long-term goals and what you want to achieve. Be specific about what success looks like for you, and consider how the 80-20 principle can help you get there. Your destination is your guiding star, helping you stay focused on what truly matters. Step 2. Find the best routes. Once you've determined your destination, the next step is to find the best routes to get there. The 80-20 principle teaches us that not all paths are created equal. Some require less effort, but yield greater results. Your job is to identify the routes that will take you to your destination with the least effort and the greatest return. Consider the different options available to you and evaluate them based on their potential impact. For example, if your goal is to advance in your career, you might consider whether further education, networking, or developing a specific skill set would provide the most significant benefit. Choose the route that offers the highest return on investment. Focus your efforts there. Step 3. Take action. The final step in living the 80-20 way is to take action. Once you've identified your destination and chosen your routes, it's time to start moving. This involves making intentional choices about how you spend your time and energy, ensuring that every action you take brings you closer to your goals. Taking action might involve setting up daily or weekly routines that prioritize your high-impact activities, eliminating distractions and low-value tasks, and regularly reviewing your progress to stay on track. The key is to be consistent and intentional, making sure that your efforts are always aligned with your goals. Remember that living the 80-20 way is not about perfection, but about making continuous progress towards what matters most. It's about being flexible and adaptable, ready to adjust your course if needed, and always keeping your destination in sight. Conclusion. A new 80-20 you living the 80-20 way is about doing less and achieving more by focusing on the few things that truly matter in life. By applying the 80-20 principle, you can simplify your life, reduce stress, and increase your happiness and success. This approach isn't just a strategy. It's a new way of living that allows you to make the most of your time and energy. As you begin to apply the 80-20 principle to your own life, you'll discover a more fulfilling, efficient, and enjoyable way of living. You'll find that you're able to achieve your goals with less effort, build deeper and more meaningful relationships, and create a life that is aligned with your true values. 80-20 principle is not just a tool for success. It's a philosophy for living a balanced, purposeful, and satisfying life. Start applying the 80-20 principle today, and you'll soon discover a new 80-20 you, someone who is more focused, more fulfilled, and more in control of their destiny. Did you like this summary? Click the like button now to support our channel, and click subscribe if you want to get notified each time we post a new book summary. You can also download our free app and enjoy thousands of other book and audiobook summaries. Go to quickread.com/app and download our free app today.